What makes a good film adaptation? It's a question we all have to go back to when we debate whether a movie captured what made its source material special. And that idea can change from person to person. Just look at the Spider Man fandom for that. Then it goes into different eras of the source material, and which ones matter and don't. This whole rigmarole can make the idea to adapt two eras of the source material with two completely different tones sound impossible. But a movie came out that proved it can be done. 30 years ago, actually. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990. The perfect adaptation.
Awesome! Righteous! Bossa Nova! What? Yeah? Bossa Nova?
Aspiring comic creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were sitting around brainstorming.
So one night I did this sketch of a turtle standing upright. He had a mask on, nunchucks strapped to his arms, and I put it on his lapboard and I said, this is going to be the next big thing. It's going to be a Ninja Turtle. So I did this pencil sketch of 4 of them, all with different weapons, in this dramatic pose with a Ninja Turtle logo. That night he inked it in and added Teenage Mutant to the logo, and we were just falling over laughing. We thought it was the funniest thing ever.
And boom, the first ideas of the Ninja Turtles were born. Due to Eastman and Laird being fans of Frank Miller's work, they decided to make the Turtles a parody of sorts to some of Frank's Daredevil creations, such as Ninja Organization the Hand is now the Foot, Daredevil's mentor Stick is now Splinter, and even their origin has a Daredevil connection. Due to these roots in Miller's work, the original comic series was violent, had the Turtles drink beer, and much more. This all changed when they sold the toy licensing of the Ninja Turtles to Playmates Toys, who wanted a cartoon to promote the action figures due to the target audience being children.
We have ways of making you talk! Whoa, Shredder's right! Because with the talking turtles, all you have to do is just pull the sound strip and...
Hey dude, that's my line!
Well, how about...
Sounds good to me!
Each of the talking turtles come with 2 of their own talking clip strips. Plus, you can get more strips separately. So when Shredder talks tough, the turtles always get the last word.
Damn! Now we're talking!
They decided to change the Turtles' world and personalities to help sell it. This is how you get different colored bandanas, their love of pizza, and the more comedic tone.
Pay for what you've done to me.
Some people just can't handle change.
Why do you keep doing that?
And that's how you get the 1987 show. Now that you know the history of not only the Turtles, but the difference between its source and the more popular interpretation, we can finally get into what makes this movie great. When you're making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, you obviously think you'll use the thing that made the Turtles popular as your source, which is the lighthearted TV series. But nope! These dark twisted geniuses had the idea to adapt from the original comic book series, mainly issues 1, the Raphael one-shot, and issue 10, with only a few changes made to help the storytelling. But they don't alienate the cartoon series or disrespect it, unlike other Turtle projects.
Already the pudgy ones are starting to panic. Raph loves this stuff.
The movie retains the slapstick, but first let's elaborate on that darker tone I was talking about. The tone being more in line with the early Mirage series is just amazing. It's clearly a film for kids, but it doesn't baby them, and an adult could watch it no problem. Nothing shows this change in tone from the cartoon better than how this film starts. The Turtles stop a few thugs who are trying to rob April, but when they go back into the sewers, Raphael leaves a sigh on the surface. And when April takes it, he says, "Damn." I mean, what a perfect way to show this truly is no cartoon. The drama the Turtles go through, mainly by Leonardo and Raphael, is also straight from the comics, along with Raphael's anger issues. But more than just being like the comic, this movie is inherently dark. We have kids beating the shit out of each other, Raphael beaten and thrown through a window, which is a reference to issue 10, where it's actually Leonardo. Splinter literally hangs from chains in that Foot's headquarters where Shredder beats him and says he'll hang there
Until you die.
Holy hell, if you're a 5-year-old watching in a theater, This is hardcore stuff. This movie is great, even making heartfelt moments between characters. Splinter's talk with Raphael about how he doesn't have to fight his inner struggles alone can make you shed a tear. A beautifully acted scene by Kevin Clash, who voices Splinter and is the voice for Elmo. Now that is range. In the scene where Splinter appears as a spirit, force ghost, vision thing, it doesn't matter, to tell the turtles he loves them, and Michelangelo starts crying, which calls back to this scene.
Hey, Mikey, did you ever think about what Splinter said tonight? I mean, about what it would be like. You know, not having him.
Time's up. $3 off.
Will have you completely bawling. Now that is cinema. With everything I just said, you might think this movie is depressing, but again, you'd be wrong. As I said, this movie doesn't forget what made the franchise popular. It retains the comedy, the love of pizza,
Thick crust with double cheese, ham, pepperoni.
and the playfulness of the turtles shown in the action. While more violent than the cartoon, it still hangs on to the more absurd level the turtles were known for. Michelangelo fights a few foot soldiers with symbols, Donatello squirts water in their face, they crack jokes before facing off Shredder.
Does anybody have any idea about who or what this is?
I don't know, but I'll bet I never asked to look for a can opener.
The childish humor doesn't feel like a detriment because it doesn't get in the way of the drama, and part of the movie is genuinely hilarious.
Home sweet home. Now I know what it's like to travel without a green card. Just, what's that?
Danny?
Don't shoot. I don't think it's loaded, kid.
Now let's get into some smaller specific things that I want to congratulate this movie for. I just love how this movie looks. The grain from the film, along with the dirty streets of New York City or the disgusting sewers, just help make this movie feel like a gritty, rough around the edges 90s place. Speaking of which, this movie feels like it should be dated due to the references to Domino's, to even Jose Canseco.
A Jose Canseco bat? Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
It feels like a movie set in the 90s, but isn't restricted by that, because it being set in that era enhances the story of a crime wave hitting New York, because New York kinda looked like a dumpster fire in the 90s.
I deliver a message. Shut it.
To sum up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 is the perfect adaptation, because it is able to satisfy two completely different eras of the franchise flawlessly. The comedy doesn't make the gravity of the situation non-existent, nor does the dark subject matter make the movie joyless. That perfect balance they're able to achieve is something that should be celebrated for this underrated comic book film.
Huh?
I made a funny.
On the half shell, they're the heroes for. In this day and age, who could ask for more? The crime wave is high, with muggings mysterious. All police and detectives are furious, cause they can't find the source.